Hello friends, I am Marina and this is Rapunzel Fiber Arts. Today we are in a new place. We are here in my kitchen instead of the studio, and that is because we need the sink. We are going to be washing some of our handspun yarn today. It's really important to wash your handspun after you've spun, plied, and skeined it. Once it's in this form, and the reasons that you want to wash your handspun is it sets the twist, so it relaxes that spin and ply twist, and it often floofs up the yarn, so it'll increase the yarn diameter, shorten the overall length, and create a really pleasant yarn to work with. It'll also clean it, so any oils that come off your hands while spinning, or if it's originally from a fleece, it will wash out any remaining dirt that might be lingering. And you also, in the washing process, do a little bit of slight agitation, which takes the individual plies in a strand of this yarn and it felts those plies together without felting the overall yarn to the other strands. And that'll also help hold the shape of the yarn after it's been cut. Like right now, if I were to cut this, it would unravel into the 3 different plies, but once it's been washed, it holds its shape much better. So today, we have these 3 skeins, which we skeined up in a recent how-to skein video, and we have some samples from the border Leicester fleece from a sheep named Belle. If you're interested in that, I have a whole playlist of the stuff that I've done so far for her fleece. And I will also link the skeining video that I did where we skeined up these guys. Something else you're gonna need is some sort of wash. You can use something like Dawn. I use specifically unicorn fiber wash. They also have different products for washing your woolens that'll soften them a little bit, which is their fiber rinse, and they also have power scour for washing fleece, which I love. These products don't create a lot of bubbles like the Dawn does, so you have less rinses that you have to do, which I find to be very worth it in terms of saving water and reducing the amount of effort that I have to put in. In addition to that, we have a couple of just reused plastic tubs. Some of they're from stuff that I've bought that they're just really durable plastic containers that I reuse. So I've got 3 of those in my sink. I'm gonna take my fiber wash and put a couple of drops in each. We don't need a ton. There's only maybe a quart or 2 of water in each of these bins. And I think this calls for like a half tablespoon per gallon. So I'm just gonna do a couple drops in each, and that should be enough. After I do that, I'm gonna dunk my fiber and let it soak for a little bit, and then it will come out. I will squeeze as much water out as possible, and then I will hang it up to dry. So I'm gonna angle the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing better, and I will talk to you then. All right, friends, so here I am adding my soap to the water. I actually accidentally ended up using the power scour, but that's okay. It's still soap. It's no big deal. So you can see now I am starting to agitate this first skein. The recipe for felting is soap, hot water, and agitation. And we have all of those here. So I am just agitating by lifting out and then smooshing that skein back into the hot water and kind of squeegeeing it around in there a little bit with my fingers. Repeating that 5 or so times, and then just letting it sit and soak for about 20 minutes. Sometimes with the really small skeins, I will smush them in my fist to agitate, but for the most part, I just raise and lower it out of the hot, soapy water repeatedly, and that works well for me. I'm almost done. This is my second to last skein, and this is my last skein, and it's a small one, so you'll again see me smooshing. I think I do it out of frame, which is not terribly helpful, but yep, there I go, smooshing out of frame. Sorry about that. All right, friends, so here you can see our 3 bins soaking. I tried to keep light colors together, so here is some of the border Leicester in purple and gray. Here is our natural white and gray, but that doesn't have any dye in it, so I'm not worried about the gray getting on the white. And in here, we have this gorgeous rainbow yarn. You can see how beautiful those colors are. But you can see some of the dye is coming off, so I'm definitely glad I didn't put this in with like the white or anything like that. So we'll let these soak for a little bit, and then we are going to put them on a rinse, and then we will hang them up to dry. All right, friends, so now that the 20 minutes of soaking time is over, I am just pulling these out of that soapy kind of dirty water and squeezing out as much of the water as I can, and then while I'm filling the next bins up with clean water for the rinse cycle, I am putting my skeins in a salad spinner. This is a wool only salad spinner. I do not use it for food stuff. It is only for wool because I do some stuff with it that I really don't want touching food. Just with dye and potentially dirty fleece. So I am squeezing all of the water out of my skeins and putting it in there as I fill up my buckets with clean water for the rinse cycle. It is important to add hot water that is at least as warm as the temperature of your wash cycle, because going from very hot to very cold water, that abrupt temperature change with water can cause felting and can cause excessive felting, more so than we want with our yarn. So it's important to add warm water, hot water, but not cold water. And then we're just doing a little tiny bit of agitation just to swirl it around and make sure that we get all of that soap out of the yarn. And then we are taking it and squeezing out all of the water and putting it back in the salad spinner so that it can go and get hung up to dry completely. You can also see that some of the skeins are trying to be tangled when I'm pulling them out of the water, but thanks to the 4 ties that I did when I was spinning these up, none of them are getting tangled to the point of no return. None of them are getting ruined with the tangling, which I am very appreciative of, and that's another reason to tie in at least 4 places whenever you make a skein. Alright friends, we are outside. We have our drying rack set up. I have my bin full of wet yarn, and we are going to just hang them nice and easy like that. All right, friends, there we have it. We have washed our yarn and it is drying in the sun. Hopefully it'll be all the way dry today. It's warm enough out that I think it should. Occasionally I'll come out, grab the ends, and just squeeze the water out, and that'll help speed up the process. But other than that, we've done it. All right, friends, so it's been a couple of hours and these are still a little bit damp, but I wanted to show you some of the transformation that's occurred with these skeins. So I'm looking at some of these border Leicester mini skeins, and look at the incredible twist on these. It was not that well plied when I put it in the bath water. I'm untwisting it a little bit just to see how these singles look. And you see they're not like one uniform piece, but they are very well attached, and you can see they really want to reshape that twist around each other. Just like that. So I think we did a good job. I think these look really good. I'm really excited to sample with some of these border Leicester samples. I spun samples, now I have to knit samples. If you want more information on that, you should definitely check out, I have a whole playlist about this fleece that I'm processing. So I'm really happy with that, and the rest of the samples that kind of match. Our Targhee Rambouillet is absolutely gorgeous. It poofed up really nicely, so it's a little bit thicker than it was, which I like because it was very thin. Oh, there's a little piece of VM. Even in the finished yarn, I'm pulling out pieces of VM. It's the nature of working from raw fleece. And here we have a rainbow, which I cannot wait to knit a sample of. I think it's gonna have to be like a headband, maybe a hat. I might have enough for a hat. This is about 3 ounces. But anyway, that's a plan for another video. For this video, I think that we've about wrapped it up. I'm very happy with what we've done today. I hope you're happy with what we've done today. I hope you have a fantastic day and get some great crafting in, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye, friends.